Recent studies have gone deeper into exploring why the phenomenon of parental favoritism, why one child is more favored by other parents, and identifying actual factor sources, active science to see why you may get this outcome from different parents favoring one child over their other ones. And let's start with personality traits. Children who exhibit agreeable and conscientious behaviors, basically are nice, are often favored. These traits can lead to fewer conflicts, more harmonious parental-child relationships going forward. Also, gender is an issue. Research indicates that parents have a preferential for daughters over sons, though this may not always be perceived by the daughters themselves. But parents just seem to give more, enjoy more, are more favorable towards their daughters, both the males and the female parents, than their sons. The temperament and behavior also comes to play where children who are easier to deal with, better temperaments, if you will, and behave better in general, receive more positive mentions and attention from their parents. And ones that share interests. A natural affinity to something a child does that you do as well as a parent will make it easier to connect with them. People who are musical, people who are artistic, people who are nerdy and want to read. If a parent and a child have those in common, they seem to bond over that. There's also some physical resemblance. I read that wrong. Physical resemblance. Parents may unconsciously favor a child looks more like them or more like a relative that they know than one that doesn't seem to look like the family member. And it's just something that is a psychological thing, if you will, that the physical resemblance to their favorite aunt or just looking a lot like them, like they're the mini-me, makes a difference. And one that gets controversial but always gets thrown out there is birth order. There's a lot of studies going on in birth order and how your birth order actually affects how you do with things. All those other factors and more factors coming up. It's the order of the child gets a preference. Many times the younger children get preference. Many times the older children gets preference. Many times the middle child sort of gets blocked out. That's sort of how things work out based on when it's go. There's no consistency for the older or younger child, but the middle child usually don't get the love that the firstborns or the lastborns always get. And one that always comes to play that no one really thinks about, but studies are now showing is that parental stress and awareness. Parents may be under a lot of stress and they may unintentionally favor one child over another due to some sort of lack of emotional awareness. They just don't actually understand that they actually have a bias towards a child and they can't fight it or can't try to alleviate it. They just seem, using all the factors before or some other factor that's not there, this child seems to get everything that the other one doesn't. One child may actually do what you tell them to do, so they get more favoritism. The other one may be punished more often because they just don't. Some may just have a just sort of a mannerism that just doesn't make them behave. And so instead of trying to show them more love to give them more encouragement, you show more love to the ones that are behaving, and it gets shown between all the siblings. So there's a lot of factors going into parental favoritism that is out there. And saying it doesn't exist is the wrong thing to do. You usually do have some sort of favorite, someone you actually lean towards, someone you connect better to if you have more than one child. If you're a parent with just one child and then you're giving all to one, sometimes those things become backfires because they could use a little spreading of the love, if you will, and you end up throwing some of those parental favoritisms to cousins or friends that are hanging around because they have that bit of a difference. In the meantime, just kind of check yourself if you're a parent before you wreck some of your children's relationships and see what's going on. You know you're going to have a favorite. Don't shout it out to the rooftops because that's going to make it worse. But you know you have a favorite, so make sure you do more to peanut butter spread the love around and give more to some of the ones that think they're neglected and give them either some extra autonomy, some extra trust going forward because they may not get all the stuff because sometimes that extra love you show to that child becomes an extra burden because they think they're going to get that all the time.